One of the most important goals of the Chesapeake Bay program is to offer the students the opportunity to develop their environmental awareness. This has been achieved in class as well as through internships.
This summer we have 10 students working directly on projects related to Chesapeake Bay. 8 of those students are working on either research, public outreach, or education projects, right? All of those things basically just provide better professional development and career development and education for our students.
One of the principal concerns about the Chesapeake Bay watershed is the level of pollution in its waters. This current situation is a reflection of what has been happening at their local level. Because of that, the Environmental Studies program at W&L has aimed to focus its efforts at the local region, which involves Hayes Creek, Woods Creek, and others. A research project conducted by Professor Robert Humston and Bill Hamilton investigates fecal pollution in Hayes Creek and Woods Creek. Biology major Carrie Ann Laubach explains further.
And we just take water samples from Woods Creek and hopefully more in Hayes Creek later down the road. And from those samples, we take 5 milliliters of the water sample and use that to culture a bacteria plate. And then we count the colonies on the bacteria plate to see how much E. coli is in the sample. But then we're also looking at a genetic analysis using quantitative PCR to do some sort of source tracking on the bacteria to find out whether it's coming from bovine sources or from human sources, and we're hoping to get primers for turkey and maybe deer, things like that. And so hopefully using that we can actually determine where the fecal pollution is coming from, whether it's coming from agricultural sources or from leaking sewer pipes or from turkey farms or things like that.
Biology major Tal Jacobs, also Laubach's partner, emphasizes the importance of their research.
I think our project is especially relevant in terms of sort of fueling a awareness for what's going on in our watershed. Then it'll be a great tool in terms of convincing farmers and convincing changing the agricultural paradigm of Virginia to say we can't let our cattle in the creek. When they go to the bathroom in the creek, they're putting too many nutrients in. So it's making these connections and it's in this kind of conceptual framework that's really important.
Biology major Peter O'Donnell and economics major Thomas Jenkins have a 2-part project in which they analyze the different types of cattle fences through an economic and biological perspective.
Now my side of it is more the economic side, seeing if there are any benefits from this fence. There's a lot of literature out there discussing that cattle are healthier, the herds are healthier, the farmers can make more money off the cattle or the milk that they sell if they put in these stream fences. So I'm looking at that and trying to develop using a modeling approach to see if farmers can ever recover the costs of the investment they make on their fence.
On the biological side, we're looking at the effectiveness of the fences at reducing bacteria levels, most specifically E. coli in the water. And so what we'll be doing is we'll grab several samples from each site along a stretch of stream, and using those samples we'll try to see if there's a percent reduction in the amount of E. coli.
Here's the main purpose of their projects.
What we're hoping to show with our project is that there is a benefit to cattle exclusion and that we can help kind of make farmers proactive in going out and excluding their cattle from the stream.
An example of the involvement of W&L with the local community, promoted by the Chesapeake Bay program, is the project in which economics and geology double major Stephanie Beebe has been participating.
So far I've been working with the Virginia Department of Conservation and Recreation and the Natural Bridge Soil and Water conservation district. Basically, the Hayes Creek watershed is really polluted with a lot of bacteria from agricultural practices and like sewage pipes like draining into the creek, and we're trying to meet with residents to try and develop best management practices to reduce the loading into the creeks. I have picked up data for creating a better watershed map to help the Virginia DCR better target the right landowners that they want to implement the best management practices.
In the summer of 2010, the Chesapeake Bay program at WNL and the Department of Conservation and Recreation hosted a series of meetings with local farmers to discuss improving the water quality. Watershed Field Coordinator at the Virginia DCR, Nesha McRae, highlights how the community responds to WNL's involvement.
I think that they like to see other water quality monitoring efforts going on in their community beyond what the state is doing. I mean, we hear a lot that people want more monitoring done, and it's expensive. So I think having that additional help is great. And I also think there's probably a little bit more trust of the university than there would be somebody like me coming from a government entity. So I think people are a little more comfortable hearing from somebody from a university who maybe is less likely to have other motives or an agenda. I'm not saying that I necessarily do, but I think there's a greater sense of comfort there.
The Chesapeake Bay program at WNL also focuses on the development of environmental education. Environmental Studies major Sarah Monte has worked with children at Boxerwood Education Association and Nature Center.
We did a study on fourth graders to see if they learned anything about the Chesapeake Bay when they came and took a school program, and we're compiling that data now and making charts and graphs. And then we'll probably go further and interview teachers to see if they think their students learn about the Chesapeake Bay at Boxerwood and see what they've learned there. We do like water testing, we look at the different types of soil, and we look at bugs and salamanders, turtles and frogs, and we teach them that kind of stuff. So it's all outside, nothing's inside.
Professor Henry Stone stresses that the work with the Boxerwood Center has played such an important role in developing environmental awareness for the next generation.
People who believe in environmental education believe that if we teach kids about the watershed, then they'll naturally help clean it up. They'll be helping restore the Chesapeake Bay.